Hey everybody. So what we wanted to do was create a comprehensive video showing you all of the elements or all of the main elements in the RPG WorldBuilder app for Android. This video will do that. It will basically break down each of the 6 main features that the app has to offer and give you a broad overview of that. In addition to this video, we're going to put together several other videos showing each feature in detail of the app. But for now, and for time constraints, we wanted to put together this single video just to kind of show you what the app is doing and what it has to offer. So let's get started and look through each element that is featured in the app. All right, so let's get started and look at the Dungeon Mapmaker portion of the app. So we're going to look at two parts of this part of the app, which is the auto-generated content and the from scratch content. The auto-generated content is a procedurally generated dungeon using tiles, and the from scratch dungeon would be one that was built with blank tiles where you select each tile individually. You'll notice that we're using tiles right now that have 4 ways, the 4 cardinal directions. The next part we're going to look at, where we're building it from scratch, we'll use 8-way tiles, where each cardinal direction has 2 entrances or exits, which create basically like 8 total on most tiles. If you use the from scratch method, then you select each tile individually and you can select its overlays. Overlays are objects that can be placed in the dungeon. If you select the auto-generated, what it will do is it will create a dungeon for you based on a grid with a certain number of tiles, and then you can go back in and you can switch those tiles out individually just like you would if you were creating the dungeon from scratch. With both of these systems, both the auto-generated and the from scratch system, you can create your own overlays and drop those into individual tiles as you feel you need them. You can also create descriptions for the rooms, and there's a section where you can add notes, so you can add things such as encounters, treasures, things found in the dungeon, and that sort of thing. So let's look now at the Overworld Mapmaker portion of the app. What this does is it allows you to generate an overworld map using various biomes. This works very similarly to the dungeon creation element in the app, where you can create a procedurally generated overworld map, or you can create a from scratch map where you would select each tile individually. What we've done here is we've created an auto-generated map using specific biomes, and now we're going through and switching some of those biomes out just to show you how you can change them individually once it's been created. So it's really flexible, and it's really up to you how you can change each of those out or what you can do with it. What we're looking at there is you can add encounters, builds, and then you can add treasures into each tile. So you can create notes, and you can link those notes to encounters that one may find in that tile, or some sort of build that they may find. And what a build would be things like ruins, towns, bridges, towers, castles, things that don't occur naturally in a biome, but would have been put there by the hand of some being. So what we're doing here is, again, selecting the biomes and building a from scratch map, which will generate a bunch of blank tiles. And then you can go in and, just like in the dungeon builder, you can switch out each tile. We're changing the weather there, and we're going to add a description. Again, this is really flexible. You can add notes to these and basically put whatever content you want in. Again, we're going through and just switching out some tiles to show you what it's capable of as you build this custom map from scratch. So this is the Overworld Builder part of the app. and it really has a lot of content in there, and we're going to break that down in individual videos so we can go through that in more detail. So let's look at the digital version of the Dungeon Architect cards. So we released the Dungeon Architect cards a couple years back, and what they are is a deck of cards that allows you to randomly create dungeon rooms and corridors so that you can draw out your own dungeons using those randomly generated cards. This is a digital deck that does the exact same thing. The only difference is the descriptors at the bottom are pulled randomly to each card. The World Architect cards, again, this is a digital version of those physical decks. What these are for would be the equivalent of the Overworld Map Maker, and it works fairly similarly to how the Dungeon Architect cards work. What they're there for is to generate ideas and inspiration in people who are using this app if they wanted to hand draw a map. So you basically generate a deck of cards with specific biomes, and then you can use those biomes to generate ideas. Each biome has descriptors that are pulled randomly, and they give you content without you having to come up with every idea on your own. Both of these, the Dungeon Architects and World Architect cards, like I said, would be used if you were going to hand draw a map. Another element of the RPG WorldBuilder app is the dice roller. It's a simple dice roller. It allows you to select the type of die you want, the number of dice, and any modifier that you want. You just hit the roll button, and then it keeps track of your roll and gives you the output. Next, we're going to look at the custom chart builder. What this allows you to do is create custom charts based on however many dice you use. So let's say you want to create a chart with a D10 chart that features different types of animals, or a D8 chart that features different types of magic items. You can do that. You can create whatever that element is, and then you can give a description for it, and then once you have that chart's saved, and then you can randomly roll, and it will generate content from that chart you built. So it's basically like a random generator that you can supply all the content for. Okay, so that's basically RPG WorldBuilder in a very dense nutshell. All the elements that we looked at have a lot of depth and a lot of flexibility, and there's a lot of stuff to each part that we really didn't go into detail on, just because it's hard to do a long video and to keep people interested. So what we're going to do to kind of circumvent that is break down each part of the app into its own video and show you what it's capable of. These are going to be posted on rpgworldbuilder.com, and they're basically going to serve as reference material. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you think the app is cool. I think it is a fantastic little app with a ton of flexibility and a ton of power. And anybody out there who's creative or plays tabletop games or runs tabletop games, I think this would be a fantastic little piece of software to plan your games and to just generate ideas and to aid in your creativity. So thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.